Hello, soul to soul blessings to you. You're most welcome to my third video, the part 3 in the short video series Creation, Antahkarana, Building the Rainbow Bridge. This short video covers stages 3 and 4 briefly of building the Rainbow Bridge and accompanies the free PDF booklet guide on my website, which is the definitive guide on Antahkarana thread weaving. Just to reiterate, and sorry if it's getting a bit tiresome, but for this video to make proper sense, it is best to watch the videos in order. So please do feel free to watch the introduction, part 1. Please feel free to watch part 2 on birth, stage 1 and stage 2. And that really helps to consummate understanding of what I'm discussing with the third video in this series over stage 3 and 4 of building the Rainbow Bridge. And I'm discussing the causation of the Rainbow Bridge techniques from clairvoyant observation. So without further ado, and I just want to share my screen here as well, 2 moments, please. And I'll bring up the document. So this is the document, the PDF document that accompanies this short video series, just to more deeply explain some of the phenomena discussed. So we're still on the chapter stages of building the Rainbow Bridge, but we are now down to, let me find it here, apologies. We are now down to bottom of page 18 and page 19 in the PDF booklet. So usually when a proper enforcement technique is utilized, which is needed usually to properly consummate stage 2 of Rainbow Bridge building, if that is done, once there are 6 petals open in the heart center, meaning the 3 in the physical plane ring, and the 3 in the astral plane ring, fully anchored soul to head thread and soul to heart thread, that marks being fully built to the soul star, which is stage 2 of Rainbow Bridge building. And a more simple way of explaining it is meaning you've built your light body enough that you have integrated just to the feet of your solar angel. And just a deeper explanation on that, actually. When I'm talking about the solar angel, when you are alive, when you are in form, law of correspondence, you have lower body and lower chakras, and a higher self, a higher body and higher chakras. And I call the higher self the solar angel, meaning your divine self, the part of you that is immortal. So your solar angel is your ray path symbol, your monadic celestial chakra, your triad celestial chakra, and your soul star chakra. And that is explained in the glossary at the start of this chapter, meaning it's up here. The solar angel is the higher self and is composed of the energy centers that exist outside of the human body. The soul star is the equivalent of the feet of your solar angel. The triad is the equivalent of the stomach of your solar angel. And the monad is the head of your solar angel. And your ray path symbol is the equivalent of your solar angel's soul star. So by the time, or if that point in development is reached, because it does require some type of enforcement technique, meaning a technique that properly starts to heal and resolve the external patterns. But what I found is if you go to somebody else for that, meaning someone else says to you, right, you've got to have clearings with me to reach this stage, that is bogus. I've come across the phenomena where I have seen people whose external auras are to a certain degree impressively clear, but they're still not fully built to their soul star. And this brings me back to the causation techniques of this document, meaning the Rainbow Bridge techniques. Josephine and Norman Stevens released these techniques as a do-it-yourself technique because they found that if you wanted to properly build the light body and cause the Antahkarana threads to weave and properly resolve imbalanced karma, meaning the internal and external patterns, the technique needed to be given in a do-it-yourself format, meaning it's not that you don't receive support from someone teaching you, or that you wouldn't still have clearing and healing sessions for other reasons. But if your main reason for having a clearing is because you've been told that, you know, X amount of clearings with me will cause you to Antahkarana thread weave, it's bogus, utterly bogus. So just to be clear, anyone listening to this and, you know, going, oh, well, I think I'm externally clear, so I'm at least stage 2, that's not a given. It must be a do-it-yourself format technique that's used, and that's just one of the keys, not the only one. So just coming back to that, if a proper, and this document outlines the causation of the rainbow bridge techniques, when the rainbow bridge techniques are employed, it does guarantee that you will, in the early stages of using the techniques, get fully built to your soul star. Fully built to your soul star is 6 petals open in the heart center, first portion of the consciousness thread, and first portion of the life thread anchored, which means you've infused, you've integrated just the feet of your higher self into matter. Once that has been accomplished, and if rainbow bridge work continues to be done, that then will enforce stage 3 of rainbow bridge building. Once the first 2 soul threads are anchored and corresponding heart center petals open, that then triggers the personality service thread to weave. And the personality service thread weaves up from the solar plexus, up through the central channel, up through the soul star, and links with the abstract mind point in your triad chakra, which is a celestial chakra, meaning higher self chakra, a star chakra above your soul star. It's one of the solar angels chakras, the triad chakra. As that thread weaves and thickens, it then triggers the 3 mental plane petals to open in the 3rd ring of the heart chakra. So there are 3. Mental plane, service, love, and knowledge. And once again, the order is dictated by your ray makeup, and the thread always starts to weave and thicken first, which then causes the 3rd ring of mental plane petals to unfold, which triggers deeper life events around mental development, maturity, and enlightenment. The other causation of weaving the service thread, so from solar plexus up through the central channel to link with the triad point, the abstract mind point in the triad. As that thread weaves and thickens, generally speaking, the mundane effect that thread has is it attracts in situations and circumstances and causes meetings with other people that are more in alignment with your service, meaning more in alignment with your life and your work. So even though this thread has amazing impact on career, it also has amazing personal impact as well, because don't forget your personal life is still a part of your service. So this thread mainly impacts work, but it does impact personal life as well in terms of attracting in healthier circumstances that support your life and service and are more authentic to your ray makeup and purposes in life. So as you can imagine, this thread is, oh, how would I put this? Priceless. This thread is priceless when it comes to career. So like that, that's one way of describing what's amiss with the human family at the moment, and also goes a long way to properly describing why so many people can find it very difficult to be in, the right job, or feel that they're really fitting into an appropriate vocation, or feel that where they're meant to be, because the majority of people on this planet don't have this thread. What I would also like to mention is the blueprint for the Foundation 5 Antahkarana threads is born with every single lifetime. So when I'm clairvoyantly observing someone using the Rainbow Bridge techniques and going through the Rainbow Bridge building stages of weaving the Antahkarana threads, it's not that those 5 main foundation threads aren't there, meaning the 2 soul threads and 3 personality threads. The blueprint for them is there, but they just haven't woven, meaning the causation of them hasn't come into full interplay. You haven't fully plugged into that potential. I always like to say that the points you haven't built to with Antahkarana thread weaving are your untapped potential. So coming back to that, and actually what I would also like to do is I just want to move down to the diagram that's also in this booklet. So this booklet, this plate, is an auric plate that I created of one of my students who is still doing the Rainbow Bridge techniques and has progressed from this point. This plate is showing this student when they reached stage 3, so that's what we're discussing, and is starting the work of building to monad. And that's something else that I would also like to point out. I've noticed, especially over the last 5 years, now maybe it's me and what I'm observing, it probably is, but I do also believe I am witnessing a wave of interest as well, where in the last 5 years, there's been a lot of information around the monad. But what I find slightly perplexing is there seems to be all of this work aimed at describing the monad and talking about the monad, but nothing about the triad. You can't skip steps. The triad celestial chakra here in the diagram, the middle part here. So the service thread weaving up to the abstract mind point in the triad. That's a very important celestial chakra. And when someone's fully consummated stage 3 of Rainbow Bridge building, meaning being fully built to triad and 3 petals open in the mental plane ring. So 3 threads, 9 petals, that marks being fully built to your triad. And that marks the midway point between matter and spirit being infused. Another way of describing that is the midway point between fusing your personality and your star origin self, as it's now termed. I call it the higher self and your solar angel, but it seems that the new terminology is star self. Or maybe that would just be my interpretation. But my main point here is, and what I would really like to highlight with this particular video, is you have a chakra in between your soul star and monad called your triad. And you can do all the so-called monadic work you want, but it doesn't work until you've built to your triad properly. You can't just bypass building to your triad. So that's also what I would like to get across with this work. Building to triad, and it's a step, it's a stage in evolution not to be missed. Everyone who's done Rainbow Bridge work with me and has gotten up to this point knows what I'm speaking about and loves embodying being at this point in the evolution. It's priceless what being at this stage of development will do for you. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like a door opening. You know that saying, when God closes a window, he opens a door? It's an amazing point to be at, and it's a point not to be missed or take it for granted or not be aware of, more to the point, not be aware of. I just want to go back to my notes and just see if there's anything else I wanted to point out about stage 3. The other point I would like to make is, especially when it's the Rainbow Bridge techniques that have been employed, when it comes to the external patterns, meaning the imbalanced external karma. What's left at that point is what I call core wounds, core external wounds. And I do believe actually I'll create another video series on internal and external patterns to explain that a bit more separately. But by the time someone's built to triad, it means all of the outer branching of the complexes has been resolved and cleared, leaving you with just core wounding, meaning a main core wound that caused all of the other pattern complexing and branching. So people quite often find that with the rainbow bridge techniques, once they're fully built to their triad, they're very well aware of their core wound or wounds. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there's two, everybody's different, but very aware of them and can fully see what that core wound has been doing and causing in terms of all of the other complexes that have started to clean up. Stage 4 of rainbow bridge building is building to monad. So what happens there? That's when the personality service thread starts to weave. And what happens is that personality love thread doubles back over the soul to heart thread. So the personality love thread that weaves at stage 4 of rainbow bridge building is the second portion of the life thread of the Antahkarana. Excuse me. So as that thread starts to weave, it weaves up from the heart. So it doubles back over the soul to heart thread that was put down at stage 2, the first portion of the life thread. It weaves up that same way, continues up past the soul star, goes through the triad, through the son of mind point in the triad, and continues up to the monad and links with the love wisdom thread in the monadic energy center. That thread then starts to double back over itself, so it's linear. It comes back down the exact same way, continues down through the central channel, down through the heart, down through the lower portion of the central channel, and anchors into the earth star. That thread triggers the 4th ring of heart center petals into opening, and there are 3. Spiritual plane, which relate to the spiritual plane development, which relate to spiritual plane sacrifice, love, and knowledge. And once again, that order is dictated by your frame makeup, but sometimes not necessarily so. And this is in the document, in the chapter 5 Threads of the Antahkarana. All the stages are conditioned by rays. And I'm going to create a different video series around that because I don't want to bombard people with too much information at once. But usually when it comes to that 4th ring opening and building to monad, the conditioning ray that comes down from the monadic chakra is yellow. So that ray is the ray that conditions that stage of Antahkarana thread weaving. And because of the amount of yellow, the amount of, the strength of the yellow ray conditioning that stage, it usually causes the spiritual plane sacrifice petal to open first, no matter what your ray makeup is. And that also has deeper implications as well in terms of causation, in terms of personal insight. It's a fascinating petal to open. With stage 4, the causation of the love thread, the second portion of the life thread weaving and thickening, the causation that has is it starts to gently and metaphorically shave off anything that's unuseful. So stage 3 is about the attracting and gathering of everything that's needed in terms of service experience, in terms of being in contact with those you're meant to be in contact with as part of the plan for your soul and personality. So that's the stage. I sometimes call that the busy stage. It makes you very busy with everything that triggers. Stage 4 is then about taking a step back and going, okay, now that I've consummated all of this experience and integrated all of this experience, as I continue to evolve and grow, what will come with me and what will not. So it's a stage of letting go of what's no longer useful to be involved in or attached to, especially in terms of belief. So a very interesting stage to go through. And at that stage as well, there are no external patterns remaining or core wounding. It's mainly only internal patterns at that stage that remain. I just want to see as well if there's any other information that I would like to share about stage 3 and stage 4. I don't believe there is at this time, so I'll just stop my screen share. On that note, I hope you've enjoyed this short video series. I hope you'll join me for the next installment, part 4, where I will cover very briefly stage 5 and stage 6 of building the Rainbow Bridge. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through my website, www.chloefolan.com. Blessings to you.